There we go. Now it's worked. Weird, last time it wasn't fucking happy and there was no chat. I blame Susan. I can't do it without laughing now. Susan. Evening all. We know what we're going to be talking about tonight, don't we? Fucking hell. Well, you can't say at least we didn't see it coming, did we? You can't say at least we didn't see it coming. I mean, first of all, you spend 20 years importing the third world. You turn your country into the third world, don't you? So of course we're going to get shit like this happening. Of course we are. Import the third world, get the third world. What did we think was going to happen? The Banana Republic of Great Britain. It's just one of them things, isn't it? Those of us that pay attention, dear listener, you can expect it. We've been talking about it for 30 years. The only fucking silver lining to this cloud is that at least now the politicians know what it feels like. Because when these people murder innocent civilians like little Emily Jones in Manchester, or blow a load of kids up at Ariana Grande concerts, or stab people in the face on London Bridge, or blow the double-decker buses up, or any number of dozens of fucking brutal murders. I mean, seriously, they don't give a monkey's fart because they've got security. So at least now, they get it. It's not very nice, is it? You know, I don't want to turn it into a gloat because obviously you don't want to be happy when a fucking person gets murdered. He may have been one of those rare politicians that's not a complete fucking arsehole. There's nothing good about it. What happened? He was having a surgery, which to Americans listening is basically where you go and meet your constituents. You hire out an office space, or they sometimes do it where what they actually have their own little office in the town centre, depending on how small or large your constituency is. I mean, in Bury, you can it's like an old ramshackle shed on an allotment. you go and sit in a shed on an allotment and everyone pulls up. You have to bring your own deck chair, and you're all sit and have a chat with them. But it's fucked. So yeah, didn't see that coming. One point I want to make about it, right, as well. Even if it wasn't, a bit like a town hall, Terry, yeah. Even if it wasn't a Mali. And Mali, honestly, right, I don't know if you can get banned. I know they love the ists and the isms, but I don't think signalling out one country is against any rules. Like, for example, I often single out the French. But if I was to pick one country in the world which appears to cause more shit than you can shake 10 hairy sticks at, it's Somalia. My nephew told me all the knifing started, because he's like 18, he's got his ear at the ground. He said all the knifing started with the Malis. He calls them Malis. I've never heard that sort of contraction before. He's like, it's the Malis. He said that everyone was just sort of like fighting, fisticuffs and booting each other's heads in and that, all the dealers and the dodgy, because he's a bit of a chav, And they were like, the Malis just started knifing everyone. Shucking. Call it shucking, the African community. The Malis will just shuck you. So everyone started bringing knives. It was Malis. They just started fucking knifing everyone. So if I have to pick one country, worse than Morocco or Algeria or any of that, his ethnicity makes him a protected group. So any criticism, I'm not criticising him, which is mad, isn't it? You can't criticise the bloke who has just stabbed an old man to death. Can't criticise him. I'm hoping I'm painting with a broad enough brush by just saying if there's one country that appears to cause more misery in the Western world, it's not. Everyone goes on about Syrians and Afghans all the time. In my book, the amount of stories I've read, again, because I'm a learned man who reads the papers every fucking day, the amount of stories I've read in the last 25 years that have involved Malis is quite phenomenal. I remember reading one about 10 years ago in the Mail, and it went viral at the time. I guess 10 years ago seems like the early days of the Twitter and the internet, but I remember it went viral because a big gang of Mali lasses, not lads, knock 10 bells of shite out of some lass in somewhere up north, I think. And they're all shouting, "Kill the white slag," as they did it. And when they ended up in court, they all got let off. They said, like, "Oh, well, it's not your fault, because your culture says you don't drink very often." And I'm sure she was being racist. So, yeah, it's fine. I remember reading that, and that's another one of these examples which is, again, what I desperately keep trying to make the point to lefties, is like, the reason it's dead important that you toe the centrist line and always try and remain reasonable and rational. Again, I'm not down with extremism, right-wing or left-wing extremism. I like to sort of have a circumspect attitude towards everything, and I make sure I read everything thoroughly and I digest it, and then I come up with a solution. And like I said, on many things I'm left of centre, because I read about the healthcare issues in America and I think, yeah, this is just a way to steal money off people. Like, it doesn't cost $300 for a bag of ice, but when an ambulance gets called, they charge you $300 for a bag of ice, because then they can just lump it onto the insurance company. It's like, there's loads of stuff out here where I go, yeah, the left-wing argument makes more sense there. But on everything to do with crime, punishment, immigration, welfare state, the right have the right of it, not the left. It doesn't work. When you motivate people to be lazy and don't do anything, it fucks up the whole world. So I'm not reactionary or particularly right-wing, and I haven't got any time for any sort of extremism. I'm not saying, oh my God, therefore anybody who's ever been born in Somalia should be treated as a fucking hostile actor, because they shouldn't, because I'm an individualist, and I'm sure, even though I've taken the piss out of some countries, the French, there are some good Frenchmen out there. I've been assured. That's like Trump. I'm assuming there's some good people. Yeah, there are. I'm not saying you fix this issue by becoming an extremist. You know, everyone's making jokes. In my private group with my friends, it was like, lols, it's time to get Pinochet on every fucker, right? Like, obviously having a bit of bounce. But we were joking, saying, you know, this may usher in legislation, emergency legislation. We're like, shit, this isn't working. We can't guarantee our safety from all these people we've just let in. And now it finally affects us, emergency legislation. So maybe they'll crack a bit of fucking Pinochet now. But it's mad how it takes this for them to lose their minds. They've been killing children. Killing children. Torturing children. Tens of thousands of them. For years. And nobody done anything about it. And then a fucking politician gets killed and they go, shit, we can't guarantee our safety. No fucking shit, Sherlock. You've been importing fighting age men for decades and we can't vet them. Joking aside, I wrote this on one of my answers on Quora. If you were to tell me that you were going to move in 10,000 fighting age Scotsmen, I wouldn't think it was a good idea. Because single men are fucking scary. Let alone bring them in from places we've got like issues with terrorism and security. I mean, see, if your mother lived in Leeds and you said to me, oh, well, she's got 10 spare bedrooms, she lives in a mansion, we want to help some people, what should we do? I'd advocate, I'd go, well, I think what we should do is maybe go to the women's shelters, because you can't guarantee if you're using lads, she's going to do them a good turn, they're going to be good lads. If she's got 10 spare rooms, probably go to the women's shelters, people who've been interviewed by the police, who've been victims of crime and assault, people who've like had a hard time, women and kids, get them in. I wouldn't go, oh, get 10 dollies from Borough. Like, get 10 hairy-ass blokes from Borough who've been on the dole for ages and move them in your mum's house. Because they need a hand. I wouldn't do it. And I'm biased towards working class blokes from Borough, because I am one. But I wouldn't do it. Because it's fucking irrational. It's crazy. I can't believe I sit here ranting about this and on the people in the Houses of Parliament are not even, it's like, let's talk about fucking bus timetables. You've been letting hairy-ass geezers from third world countries in the fucking UK for decades. We've had tens of thousands of little girls tortured and raped. Certainly some have been murdered. We've had that Chris Donaldson and hate crimes up north, murders. We've had London Bridge 7-7. We've had fucking Rotherham, Rochdale. We've had Ariana Grande. We've had fucking... It never ends. And every single day, they let in another 1,000 fighting age men from the fucking third world. And every single day, we all sit here going, well, this is mad, this. This is mad, this. And they don't do anything about it. Like, honest to God, this is why Trump was effective, because he said he was going to do a load of stuff. Emily Jones, don't even start me on that one. It fucking annoyed me. I made a video all about that one. It's unfucking believable. And it has to stop. You could fix it in a fucking day. You could fix it in a day, honestly. If I was the Prime Minister and I heard about a single incident of murder or rape or murder by a bunch of blokes who came over on dinghies, I'd be like, right, get on the fucking phone. I'm sorting it today. It's getting fixed today. Ring the fucking Sea Lord and say, right, I want a commando unit down in fucking Dover within 24 hours. I want 25% of the Navy's current seaworthy fleet patrolling the fucking channel. Do it. It's that easy. Those people are ready to go. We don't need to train anyone. We don't need to... Logistically, we're sound. You fix it in 24 hours. I'd get 1,000 fucking commandos down there to do force protection for the fucking gay sailors, and I would have the Navy patrolling the fucking channel aggressively. Trump maybe, again, Mr. McCarthy plan, I can't sit here when I'm doing a live broadcast and go down the rabbit holes that is the endless meandering conspiracy theories. Because, again, I'm not against conspiracy theories. If anything, the last 10 years has proven that those fuckers are right half the time. So I'm not even condemning conspiracy theories. What I'm saying is that is a conversation for another day. But Trump said, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this. And he did it, right? He said, I'm going to build a wall. And he tried to do it. He at least started it. We know he built some wall and there was construction ongoing, and Biden's just left all the fucking construction materials in situ. So we know he was doing it. Trump went broke running the casino. He did. Again, I'm not saying Trump, I'm not some sort of MAGA hat wearer. I'm just saying it seemed like he at least attempted to do what he said. You don't even have to be that competent. You just have to try, and the public will see that and go, well, at least he's having a fucking go. Not like Boris Johnson and the Conservatives, who have a manifesto that they actively ignore, who made promises that they actively did the opposite of. They did the opposite of them. Trump didn't... For Trump to be as bad as the Conservatives in England, you would have to have... Trump said, I'm going to build a wall, and then the day he wins the election, he goes, actually, I'm going to build a trench. It's like, no, in fact, I'm not going to build a trench. I'm going to make a nice tarmacked fucking highway and put on a load of buses to bring as many Mexicans in as I possibly can. Because that's what they've done in England. That's what they've done in England. Manifesto promise we're going to not raise taxes again. Fucking raise taxes. We're going to sort out the immigration crisis. Higher than it's ever been. More people came over in the last fucking month than any month before it. Every day the dinghies come in and every day pretty does jack shit about it. Pretty shitty. Politics is Hollywood for ugly people. Well, that's fair enough. I've said many times, if voting did anything, they wouldn't do us. They wouldn't let us do it. So it's fucked. It is fucked. But I'm just pointing out the fact that at least on the face of it, Trump attempted to do some of the things he said he was going to try and do. The Tories actively do the opposite. We're going to fucking stop immigration. We'll let them all in. Let them all in. It's nice in England. I feel sorry for all those fighting age men. I rang my dad this morning and he was kicking off. He said, I seen him on the telly today. There wasn't a man, there wasn't a woman or child amongst them. It's just fighting age men every fucking day. Every day. Big hairy ass geezers. And the Tories promised they were going to try. Again, I don't expect them to fix it. All we want to see is some effort. They said, we're going to fix this, and we're definitely not going to raise taxes. And then they put on boats to ferry them in, empowered the RNLI, went on Twitter and started sucking the RNLI off because they were bringing all the migrants in. And then they went, you're all getting a tax raise. And people want to sit there and go to me, oh yeah, but Trump's a bit of a dick. Yeah, well, Trump is a bit of a dick, but he at least attempted to do what he said he was going to do. He didn't do the exact opposite. The Conservatives have done the exact opposite. Anyway, that's the rant done. I have to talk about current affairs, not just fucking rant about immigration for 20 minutes. So let's do what's gone on here. So David Amess, Conservative MP, stabbed to death. Of course he was. You've all heard it now. Unfortunately, he was a Brexiteer as well. I mean, it's not nice when any politician gets stabbed, but it's sort of like your favourite dog, right? If you've got a dog that pisses you off and shits all over the house and a dog that you actually enjoy hanging out with and go taking for a walk, if you had to pick one to get twatted by a bus, you'd pick the annoying one. So obviously, unlike the left, I'm not advocating violence towards politicians. I'm just saying it's a fucking crying shame when he was one of the few nailed-on Brexiteers as well. Anyway, stabbed at his constituency surgery. BBC have obviously just said a 25-year-old man. I was saying this before they even announced, right? So those of you that follow me on Twitter, links in the fucking description there. I was talking about it. I was like, when the BBC just keeps saying an unknown man, that already tells you who's done it. Because if it was a straight white guy from fucking Leeds, yeah, if it was a monkey hanger, first thing that they said is a white man from Hartlepool has just killed a politician. The fact that for 2 hours they just said, an unknown man. You knew it was going to be. It was going to be one of the people that frequents Alan's world-famous snack bar, or an illegal immigrant, or someone who happens to have a tan. Because, again, this is how privileged minority groups are in the UK above everybody else. We know they get treated better by the educational establishment. We know they get more money off the state. We know they get shifted to the top of the council house list. We know they just get helped out in every way. If it was one of them, I mean, we know, let's just go back a bit. We know that the police actively don't want to arrest people who've got a bit of a tan. Because when a mob was throwing bricks and bottles at the police during the BLM riots, none of them got arrested. And then when the Football Lads Alliance had a nice quiet protest with about 200 of them, they all ended up getting battered and locked in the cells. So we have a two-tier justice system. The government privileges people who aren't ethnically English above the working class, council estate dwelling, white degenerates. That's what they think we are, right? They think we're just total scum. Total scum. They see me and they hear my accent and they go, total scum. This man is not worthy of respect. If they kill his children outside a pop concert, who cares? They're only going to grow up to be Brexit voters anyway. Who cares? But when the politician gets killed, maybe they'll start finally grasping the nettle and realise it's a security issue. If you cannot guarantee the safety of British women, children, and to a lesser extent men, we're big and daft enough to look after ourselves most of the time. If you cannot guarantee there is a place for immigration, there is a place for asylum, and there is a place for helping the needy. But if you cannot accurately vet the people that come in, you have a responsibility to your own citizenry first. That is, every country on the world behaves like this. Like I've said before, the way we behave, it's like the CEO of fucking McDonald's sitting in the boardroom and one of the eggheads comes in and says, I've invented this new product. It's the best burger ever. It's going to sell loads. And the first thing the McDonald's CEO says is, oh, yes, but will it negatively affect Burger King? Oh, I'm a bit worried about KFC. Fuck KFC. Fuck them. Charity begins at home. It's another old adage. You guys know I love old adages. Charity begins at home. You know why that's an old adage? Because it's fucking logical and sensible. It makes sense. There is space for asylum and charity. But the second you risk the safety of British children, you have a moral responsibility, a moral obligation to say, sorry, I'm really sorry. Maybe you would be a great citizen. Maybe you are fleeing persecution. I'm really, really sorry, but we have just a few little black marks on your record that our intelligence services can't clear up. So we're worried and we have to err on the side of caution because we don't want to see an 8-year-old get fucking kebabbed. Right? Jesus wept. I can't fucking believe this is controversial. And Susan can fuck off, right? If she bins my channel as a result of saying the fucking obvious, fuck her and all. But they've been killing children and we've done nothing about it. How does that not make you angry? People say, oh, the angry Bootneck, why is he so angry? Because little kids get stabbed in the fucking head and we don't do anything about it. Tortured, branded, and gorilla fucked in a bedsit by 30 swarthy foreigners, and everyone goes, oh, he's a bad-tempered fucker. Yeah, yes, I'm fucking bad-tempered. I'm more bad-tempered now than I was when I was actually going to the war zones, because at least when I was in Afghanistan, they gave me a bastard machine gun. Here, all I'm allowed to use is foul language, and they fucking banned me for that. Jesus. How is everybody not raged? How? I don't get... How can you look at a picture of the little kids who got killed, Safi in Manchester, or Emily Jones? How can you see a picture of a little girl who got killed by a random foreigner who didn't need to be in Britain? How can you look into a dead kid's eyes and go, shit happens? I think you're mentally ill. If you're a communist or a woke leftist, I think you're mentally ill. Because when you see a dead child, you just go, oh yeah, but you know, gotta break some eggs to make an omelette, You're fucking off it. You're off your tits. Dead kids don't make me chuckle and go, well, put that down to experience. Fucking fix it. Fix it. Fatty, fat albino, fix it. Pretty shitty. Fix it. Seriously. It fucking boils my piss in the bag. I don't know. No wonder I drink. It's their fault I've got an eyebrow like a rapper. It's their fault I binge drink. You know what though, joking aside, I do live by my mantra. I only get pissed when I'm actually having a good day. If I'm not and I'm as raged as I am now, I don't drink. Because I'm worried that if I get shit-faced, I might do one of those degenerate alcoholic things, like get really, really pissed and shout at my wife when she doesn't deserve it. So no, I'm only an occasional binge drinker and I only do it when I'm in a good mood. But fuck me. Never forget, never forgive, never surrender. Rotten politics, obviously a man after my own heart. Never. I never forget. This is what I mean. This is why people think I'm some sort of train spotter and I just spend all day reading about politics. I don't. It's all like a hobby. But all I do is spend a couple of hours a day reading the news and I remember it. And this is why I'm raged, because I've got a good memory when I read things. Like I said, I talked about those Somali girls kicking the shite out of some lass 10 years ago. When I read a story, I remember it. It doesn't just water off a duck's back for me. I remember viscerally 9/11, 7/7, the Ariana Grande concert. That's why I remember the names of these people. Salman Abedi, Emily Jones, little Safi who got fucking butchered like a dog by a bloke from fucking Libya whose parents were known jihadis. Listen to me. I'm not making this up. I don't tell lies. The parents of Salman Abedi, who blew up little Safi and killed all those women and kids, were known jihadis. The Home Office knew there were violent thugs and killers. They supported murder. And they let them in anyway. They went in for an interview and said, oh, where do you want to move? Manchester? Yeah, council house, do you? Nice one. Are you fucking pulling my pisser? Mental. Lockerbie. You don't forget. I don't forget. When I read the newspaper, it stays in there. Probably because the Marines used to make me remember things, and if I forgot them, they used to make me drop my trousers and crawl through the nettles for an hour. I've got a fucking good memory. When I read something and I learn something and I process it and I digest it, it's stuck in there. And I remember every name and every face. So of course I'm angry. And the woke left just think it's all worth it, right? Because they think it's always worth it. You want to make an omelette, you've got to break some eggs, is their mantra. Because every time there's a fucking communist revolution, everybody dies and starves to death. And you go, Mao, 80 million dead. Stalin, 30 million dead. Fucking Pol Pot, 4 million dead. And they go, make an omelette, break some eggs. No, why don't we just stop trying your fucking shit ideology over and over and over again and getting the same results and going, oh yeah, if we just tweak it a little bit, we might get it right next time. Can we just stop killing millions of people? Please. I mean, is it too hard? Is it too much to ask? Fucking Ash Sarkar. Ash Sarkar. Just another middle-class arsehole. I seen her questioning Roger Scruton when she was still a student. I don't know where I watched that. It was like on YouTube fucking 10 years ago, but I remember her popping up and I was like, whoa, I recognise her. Just a posh cunt who went to an Oxbridge school. Champagne socialist. Fucking luxury communism now. There's nothing luxury about killing 1 million people. Christ on a bike. It is a sick little game. It seriously pisses me off. So it's shocking. Tirade over. I'll finish the story now. Motherfuckers. Don't start me on Susan. Sir David, been an MP since 1983, had 5 kids. Fucked. Sajid Javid said he was a great man. Priti Patel said it's a senseless attack on democracy itself. Right, so you know what I want to talk about? I want to talk about the difference between the right and the left when it comes to rhetoric. Because, do you guys ever watch this? Jacob Rees-Mogg shows Jess Phillips around his constituency. Anyone ever remember this one? I stopped it before the good bit.
Towns and the countryside. I was raised in no uncertain terms to hate Tories.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like, hate, like it's a swear word. It was a swear word.
Hate. I was raised to hate. Just think of that. Like, all they talk about is hate. Everything's hate. Oh, you disagree with Owen Jones? Hate. Oh, you disagree with Ash Sarkar? Hate. And they always talk about violence. Silence is violence. Disagreement is violence. I listened to a guy talking about homelessness in San Francisco yesterday on Joe Rogan's podcast. He was talking about every single chance they get. They say, oh, you're encouraging violence. He goes, why have we got so many homeless people on the streets? Oh, you're encouraging violence towards them. Violence. The liars. Silence is violence. Disagreement is violence. Violence, hate, violence. And then Jess Phillips says right there, while polite, nice as pie, Rees-Mogg sat in there with his fucking kids in the back, and she's going, I was raised to hate. That's what they say about the KKK, don't they? Raised to hate. Raised to hate. But when left-wing fucking shitbags sit there in front of an 8-year-old and say, I was raised to hate. Raised to hate. That's fine. That's totally fine. When Angela fucking Rayner, let's keep that, fuck you, Guardian. Guardian, I'd rather give money to fucking the Fred West Benevolent Fund. I'd rather send Anders Breivik a fucking Christmas card. I'd rather send Gary Glitter my fucking sister. That's how interested I am in giving you money, Guardian. You may as well... I'd rather dig up Pol Pot and resurrect him. It'd be less harmful than giving the money to the Guardian. Hire a team of clerics, dig up Chairman Mao and have them resurrect him from the dead. Empower him with otherworldly skills like Nagash the Sorcerer and send him back to be in charge of China again. The Great Leap ×2. That is how harmful the Guardian is. No, I don't want to give you any money, Guardian. I want you to fucking disappear. What about this one? Angela Rayner stands by, labelling Tories scum. So again, you could say maybe she was just playing up the crowd, maybe she was being passionate, she was fired up. Do you really think you should be calling them scum? You horrible ginger fox piss. Do you really think you should be labelling politicians that disagree with you slightly about what's the best way to run things as scum, as vermin? She was like, yep, happy with that. Happy with that. Cruxy, would you rather donate the Guardian or the 2-para? Definitely 2-para. Definitely would. Not even an hard one. So, absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking. Angela Rayner stood by her description of the Conservatives' homophobic, racist, racistic scum. All of them. Even the black ones. Yeah, the black ones are racist. The female ones are misogynistic. The gay ones are homophobic. If you think what the left are saying is logical, you're welcome to it. I don't know what more arguments I can make. I always bang on about the individualist. The individualist part of my personality that says you have to take everybody as an individual. It's so reasonable and so logical because, like I said, you're born and raised in somewhere like Middlesbrough. You go to school with lads who are Muslim parents. I never call them, oh shit, I said the M word, but not in a negative way. Susan, I didn't say anything bad about them. Please, Susan. Not in the face, Susan, not in the face. I didn't say anything bad about them. They're born and raised in Borough, but the mum and dad are from India or Pakistan or what have you. Most of those lads who went to my school ended up totally rejecting the ideology of the parents, going out on the piss, supporting the Borough, marrying a white bird, forgetting all about it. So I'm not down with collectivism. And that's all they exist to do. And that's why they murder people. Because when you start saying they're all the same, all conservatives, the gay ones are homophobic, the black ones are racist, the women are misogynistic, it's again, you can be none of those things without having to be the thing. But I'm just playing the lowest common denominator. You are the thing that I despise because you have a broad label that I decided to give you, so you're a bad person. And if you basically say everyone under this massive broad umbrella is a bad person, why do you not think people are going to think it's acceptable to do bad things to them? It's not a leap of logic, is it? If you convince the general public that they are bad people and they don't have any virtues at all, you never talk about the wives and the kids and the families and friends. It's just they're all the fucking same and they're all evil. If you keep using that rhetoric, of course people are going to fucking despise them. And I've quoted Yoda before. Yoda's famous words come from professional psychologists. It only has to start with a bit of resentment. And resentment leads to, I'm not doing the Yoda voice, leads to anger. No, right? It's resentment and bitterness and spite and then anger and then rage and hate. And the communists excel at promoting resentment, bitterness, anger, rage, hate. And they'll tell you themselves. Yeah? Tell us, Jess.
Hate Tories.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like, hate, like, it's...
Right.
Hate. She overpronounces a H, see, that I don't like. Hate. Like she's got halitosis. A bit like that weird Asian dude from Scotland. White. I was raised to hate. Yeah, well, this is where we go. So even if it wasn't a Mali, it's going to end up happening because the left are encouraging violence. Jacob Rees-Mogg, seriously, look how nice Jacob Rees-Mogg is. He's just sat there politely with his kids, tittering away, looking a bit aghast, while she's saying, hate, fucking hate. Angela, the Ginnock, fox piss, hate, scum, vermin, horrible, evil, fucking, of course you're going to get it. And it's going to keep happening. Who white? Yeah. Who white? Of course it's going to happen. So even if this time it was a Mali, you are going to see British born and raised in the UK people doing it eventually if you just keep on with the rhetoric. The people that you politely disagree with are fucking evil. They're not evil. They're not evil. And for the benefit of any lefties, I'm now going to reach across the aisle as we near the zenith of the show to try and make the point, right? If you're a conservative, you're not evil. You just disagree about the best way to run the country. Dead simple. Like, I'm working class. They make out this nonsense that everyone's rich as well. You don't win elections if the only people who vote for you are rich. Most people who voted Conservative in the last election weren't rich, because most people aren't rich. Most people who voted for Donald Trump weren't rich, because most people aren't rich. Normal people vote for them. Normal people vote for them because they have a slightly different opinion on how best to run the world. Conservative people are risk averse, and we think, listen, I understand how it sucks how there's so many homeless people and there's so much suffering in the world, but at least if we're cautious, we can make sure that we give people good outcomes in our little niche group. If you open the floodgates, our resources will be taxed to depletion, and then we can't help anyone. And this is the point I've made many times before. The third world is never going to run out of people. So if you want to keep helping people, you pick a logical number that you think you can realistically, logistically help and manage and vet correctly to guarantee the safety of the women and kids that already live here. And you say, okay, we've decided the logistics, the quartermaster's done the numbers, and he reckons we can take 20,000 people a year and distribute them evenly across the UK, and everyone will have a good time. But if we go above that, maybe we've got a bit of fudge factor in there, maybe we could take 30. If we get to 300,000 people a year, which is what we've fucking ran at for 2 decades, everything's going to collapse. The school systems will be fucked, the roads will be fucked, the dentists will be full, the doctors will be full, the hospital beds will be full, the police won't be able to manage. There's nothing is going to function. So everyone's going to be miserable. So what do you want? Do you want us to help a handful of people every year and they can be happy? Or do you want the whole fucking planet to be miserable? I mean, to me, that is a very logical argument. If we help a small amount, we can actually help them. If we open the floodgates and say, no more borders, man, just no more borders, come in from wherever you want, anywhere you like. There's only 3 or 4 billion people in the third fucking world. Of course, we can let them all in. Do you think any of them are going to stay in the third world? Any of them? These fucking lunatic woke lefties who said, oh, there shouldn't be, no person is illegal. There should be no borders, man. Who's going to fucking stay there? Do you think Britain, Canada and America and Western Europe can absorb 3 billion people without it turning into the exact same shit they've just left? It's fucked. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what else to say to you. It's fucked. Do you think the reason this Alan Snack Bar stabbed to death the MP so he gets to stay free for... Maybe so. Maybe so. I'm sure if you actually are from a proper shithole, being in a British prison is not that bad. But it's going to be ideological, isn't it? It's going to be a... Terrorism is obviously ideologically related, which I've told many people this. I'm sick and tired of idiot leftists on Twitter calling everything terrorism. A white guy, has to be a white guy, robs a bank, and he comes out and they go, terrorism, that. Terrorism. Let me just, in fact, I'm going to fucking type it in because I'm sick of thick people who don't know the definition of the fucking word terrorism. Terrorism is violence or terror with explicitly political aims. It has to have political aims. If it doesn't have a political aim, it's not terrorism. Right? There's the dictionary definition.
Terrorism.
Learn to pronounce. Shall I learn to pronounce it? What happens when you press that? Oh, look, you get a face.
Terrorism.
Terrorism. Terrorism.
Terrorism.
Terrorism. Right? It's not terrorism if you just happen to kill someone. Every fucking time a crazy white man shoots someone. Doesn't matter whether he shoots a copper if he's just done a fucking bank job or whatever, a mugging gone wrong, they go, terrorism. You terrorist him. You're not a terrorist if you just happen to kill someone, right? Or else, if a bloke kills his wife, somehow drunk beats his wife to death, oh my God, he's a terrorist. He isn't a fucking terrorist. And you go, why when it's brown person did you always say it's terrorism? No, they don't. No, they don't. Chicago, there's fucking 50 shootings every single weekend, and you don't see everybody going, holy fucking shit, did you see all that terrorism in Chicago this weekend? You thick twat. Every weekend. Every fucking weekend. There's dozens of murders and they go, oh, what are you going to do? Let's Google that. Chicago murders. 2021. Oh, that was only on a Wednesday. Look at this one. Chicago Sun-Times. 1 killed, 9 women by gunfire in Chicago on a Wednesday. That's a fucking Wednesday. Like, I was hoping to get some nice statistics for a weekend, but that's a Wednesday. Can you imagine what New Year's Eve is like if you get 1 killed and 9 wounded on a fucking Wednesday? Right? Fucking hell. Imagine bonfire night. Fucking hell. You don't get it. Left me saying, well, I know that. I've said that plenty of times. I do get it. User has been banned for naughty words. Yeah, everything. The personal is political. I'm well aware. Davy boy's off. So, see you later, Davy. It's mad, isn't it? So every fucking day, some poor even a Wednesday, some poor bastard gets shot in Chicago by a brown person. And nobody goes, fucking hell, see all this terrorism? It's not just white guy gets away with it. Stephen Paddock wasn't even a terrorist because there wasn't any aim to it. No one's told you what his motives are. He didn't ask for anything. 9/11 was terrorism, not because they happened to have a fucking tan, but because they had explicitly political aims. And if you fucking kill a shitload of people and they say why, and you say, because I don't like Mondays, like that fucking batty lass who shot a load of people in. Remember that one? Tell me why I don't like Monday. Tell me why. That song, chick who shot a load of people in America. I believe she didn't kill that many. I think the only person who died was one of the school's employees. But she shot a fucking load of kids. And when they said, what did you do that for? She said, I don't like Mondays. The shit. That's not a terrorist. Terrorism, political aims. So let me just finish with that because I've cleared it up and now I can fuck off. If you ever hear a thick twat, lefty fucking dipshit saying, why is it when a brown person kills someone it's terrorism and when a white person does it never is? It's probably because the white guy is just a random fucking dickhead killing people because he's an arsehole. And if brown people in Chicago, woe betide, it could even be a practitioner, a frequenter of Alan's snack bar, a big beardy black fella from Chicago. If he shoots a load of people and they say, what did you do that for? And he said, because I fucking love Oreos and there was none in the supermarket, so I thought, fuck all y'all, and I hosed them all down with an AK-47. That's not terrorism. Got nothing to do with your fucking skin colour or your religion or your fucking anything. It has to have political aims. Dave, or religious aims. I don't think that's right. if it has a religious aim, then technically it's a political aim, right? The religious aim always has a political aim. Palestine, Israel, they pick their enemies by the religion, but it's still a political aim. Catholic versus Protestant, they pick the people they have an axe to grind with using the religion, but it's still explicitly for a political aim. It's not really a religious aim. That's just how you fucking differentiate between the people you like and the people you hate, because it's a powerful driver for idiots. Brenda Spencer, yeah, that's it, rotten politics, yeah. Didn't kill that many people, did she? I remember being very shocked when I read the Wikipedia entry for that. I was like, oh yeah, she didn't actually kill that many people. She just put a shitload of holes in them. Your warped mind cracks me up, though. How can you not be warped in these crazy fucking times? So, I'm glad everyone enjoyed that. Few tirades there to be chewing on with. Poor old David Amos. It is a fucking shame. Import the third world, you get the third world. It is shocking. At least he had 5 kids to survive him. Me, I've got none, because I've been a bitter, cynical fucking bootneck since I was about 23 and I first got into politics. And I'm that cynical. I'm convinced that if I have kids, they'll end up bursting into flames in a few years' time. So I've sort of like bottled it. I don't mind going to war, but I was so upset when my dog got put down. I think I'm a bit scared to have kids. It takes courage to raise a family. I'm man enough to admit that. I've thought about it and I am a bit... are things going well enough? Well, I think I should have kids. I don't know. I think I'm a bit scared of the idea. So, yeah. Poor bastard. At least he'll be survived by his 5 children. And he wasn't too young, he was 69. I'll end on a high note like I often do, because I am an optimistic chap. We can bring it back from the brink if we have the will. David Amos, God rest his soul, was over 60, so he was getting on. It's not like 12-year-olds dying of cancer and shit. All part of God's plan, apparently. He was getting on, and he's got 5 kids. And some good may yet come of it. So God rest his soul. It's a fucking shame. But at least he wasn't a spring chicken. And he'll be survived by his children, unlike me, who will be thrown in a wheelie bin by the council employees when they find my corpse 8 months after my demise. All right? Thanks, guys. Joking aside, yeah, fuck them, right? Get pissed this weekend. Hang out with your mates. Enjoy your fucking selves. Yeah. Politics isn't worth getting fucking... Certainly not worth killing some fucker about, is it? Try and enjoy yourselves. Keep smiling as the world burns around us. And yeah, we'll see what fucking delights next week brings. I'll see you guys on Monday. If I can be bothered, I'll do it. I want to at least get to 50 BBC Spews. So I've got 2 to push. If I can be arsed, I'll do one. But it's a lot of work to do like a half-hour edited video. And like I said, YouTube strangles me so much. I actually prefer doing this and just talking to people than I do spending fucking 3 hours on a video and then nobody sees it. So, fuck them. We'll see. If I can be arsed, I'll treat you guys. All right? Thanks for watching. See you very soon.